Hey guys, how's it going? It's Brave Bird Sports here, and today I want to go over the Rangers' decision to go out and get right-handed pitcher, Max Scherzer from the Mets. I'm going to go into the mind of the Rangers front office, to get their perspective on why they made the move to get Scherzer, and I'm also going to go into Scherzer's 2023 season stats to determine whether or not Scherzer will make the difference for a team looking to win their first division title since 2016. So let's start with why the Rangers felt the need to go out and get Scherzer. Coming into the 2023 season, Fangraphs had the Rangers projected to end the season ranked 4th in the AL West, and only gave them a 13% chance to win the division, which at the time was a rather popular opinion because with the Astros having run the division for the past 6 seasons, the Mariners breaking their 20-year-long playoff drought, and the Angels having the 2 greatest players to ever play the game on their roster, it seemed very unlikely that this Rangers team would be able to win the AL West crown. That doesn't mean this team came out of nowhere, however, because over the last few seasons the Rangers have spent some seriously big money on some very notable players, giving out major deals to Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, and most recently Jacob deGrom. In fact, the Rangers are currently paying those 3 players a total of $91.5 million this year alone, which is more than the entire payrolls of the Athletics, Orioles, Pirates, and Rays. So it shouldn't have been too surprising to see this team get off to a hot start, and finish April with a 17-11 record, giving them a 2-game lead over the Astros for first place in the AL West. However, that was only the beginning.
And he hits his ball in the air, deep out to center field. That one's got a shot, it's gone! Takes a good whip here, deep out to left again. Rooker going back, and it's gone! A grand slam for Alboni! That ball is smashed, deep out to left, it is gone! Upper deck! And that's why the skipper loves it. To the bases are low. Seager who swings and drives one deep into the Baltimore night. It is a grand slam for Corey Seager.
The Rangers would go on to absolutely dominate in the month of May with an 18-9 record, giving them a total record of 35 wins and 20 losses. However, even with the MLB's best record in the month of May, the Astros would be close behind them as they went 17-10 in that same time span, which meant the Rangers would only have a 3-game lead over the Astros to finish the month of May. But while the Rangers would cool off in June, at the end of June 23, the Rangers held a 6.5-game lead over the Astros for first place in the AL West, which would be the largest lead they would have over the division so far this year. The Rangers have played around 500 balls since the beginning of June, and even while currently in first place in the AL West, they are no longer projected to win the division, so it seems obvious that the front office needs to make a move at the deadline. So why did the Rangers feel the need to get another starting pitcher? At first glance it seems weird that the Rangers would feel the need to get another starting pitcher, as they currently rank 5th in starting pitcher ERA with an ERA of 3.86. However, other stats such as FIP, which is short for fielding independent pitching, and WAR, have them ranked in the middle of the pack. And even more alarming, if you look at the last 30 days, all 3 of those stats I just mentioned in ERA, WAR, and FIP, have the Rangers ranked in the bottom 5th of each category in the MLB. So they desperately need another starting pitcher to come in and rejuvenate this pitching staff. This is where Scherzer comes into play. For those who don't know, he is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, and World Series champion with the Washington Nationals. He signed with the Mets in the 2021 off-season, after a short stint with the Dodgers, when he was traded by the Nationals, where he would go on to have an ERA of 2.46, with an ERA plus of 1.67, and let me remind you that league average for ERA plus is 100. He followed up his impressive 2021 campaign with an equally impressive season in 2022 with the Mets, where he sported an ERA of 2.29, with an ERA plus of 1.67. However, his first half of 2023 with the Mets has been a different story. It seems like his age is starting to catch up with him, as he just turned 39, 2 days before the trade, and his 2023 stats have been average, at best, with an ERA of 4 and an ERA plus of 103. He also currently has the worst FIP of his career, at 4.73. And in the month of July, he had an ERA of 4.35 with an abysmal FIP of 6.31. And the future does not look much better because if you look at his underlying stats and compare them to prior years you can see that he is regressing, which doesn't bode well for a late-season return to form. However, I think there is something to be said about his sheer competitiveness that keeps me from saying that he won't bounce back, especially when he will be pitching in some very meaningful games in September and maybe even October. So now that we have gone over Scherzer's 2023 stats, the question remaining is, have the Rangers made a good decision? Scherzer has elected to opt in on his 2024 player option where the Mets will pay for $35 million of what's left on his deal, which means the Rangers will only have to pay Scherzer $22.5 million for the 2024 season, which is still a lot, especially when you realize that they just signed DeGrom to a contract that pays him $30 million in 2023, for 6 starts before going on the IL, and $40 million in 2024, where he will not return from Tommy John surgery until August of 2024, and it is not a given he will return to elite form. Going back to Scherzer, in order to acquire him, the Rangers gave up their 3rd-ranked prospect and MLB's 44th-ranked prospect, middle infielder Luis Angel Acuna, Ronald Acuna Jr.'s younger brother. The 21-year-old Acuna currently has an .830 OPS in Double-A, in 84 games with the Frisco Roughriders. Acuna seemed like an obvious trading piece for the Rangers, since they have Marcus Semien signed through 2028, and Corey Seager signed through 2031, and there will be most likely nowhere to really put him in the lineup. The Rangers currently have a 70% chance to make the playoffs, and they are certainly looking ahead to the postseason with this deal, even if they are unable to win the AL West. So this Scherzer deal could help the Rangers in the postseason because even though his numbers have declined, Scherzer has a lot of postseason experience. He has pitched in 27 postseason games, with an ERA of 3.58, and was a big part of the Nationals winning the World Series in 2019. And if the Rangers pitching lab is able to work with Scherzer, and even get one vintage performance out of him in the postseason, it could be the difference between this team being a wild card exit to being a legitimate threat to win the AL pennant. So the question remains, was this a good deal for the Rangers? And the answer is most likely, yes. Simply because the Mets are paying a big chunk of Scherzer's remaining salary, and with the Rangers having a high chance to make the postseason, it seems like there is more that could go right than there is that something goes wrong for the Rangers. Worst case scenario, Scherzer continues to play terribly and a team that, 1, doesn't have to pay the full $43 million to Scherzer next year, and 2, clearly doesn't mind paying players big money will make starting pitching adjustments in the offseason in order to run it back in 2024. The only way that this deal can be considered a huge failure for the Rangers is if they fail to make the postseason in 2023 and 2024, and Luis Angel Acuna becomes an elite player with either Semien or Seager completely falling off. And while that's not entirely impossible, I would say it is worth the risk in order to give this Rangers team a better shot to make a serious run in the playoffs this year, with a future Hall of Famer, who is one of the most competitive starting pitchers in the last decade, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will bring his A game in any postseason games he pitches in this year. So overall, I would say the Rangers front office made a good decision by going out and getting Max Scherzer. Do you guys agree with my take? Is there something I overlooked? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.